Thank you for watching Diamond Realty Presents. Today we have a guest, Katie Clunen. She's a family law attorney with the Dion Law Group in Westlake Village. And today we're going to discuss when you're facing a divorce and you have real property that you need to sell. So thank you and welcome, Katie.
Thank you, Theresa. Thanks for having me today.
Yes, thank you. So I know it's inevitable sometimes, but sometimes people face divorce and then they have real property that they need to sell. So I wanted to just find out, how could we provide value to somebody who is in that situation? What are some tips that you would recommend for them?
Sure, that's a good question. What I've noticed is when a couple comes to me or one party comes to me, I ask for what documents they have in regards to the real property. So if it's a home, I ask them to bring a current mortgage statement, as well as maybe a mortgage statement when they got married. Depending on when they bought the home, if they bought the home during the marriage, then it would be presumed to be community property. And I would ask to see the purchase agreement to see where the down payment came from, because sometimes, even though it was bought during the marriage, one of the couple, one of the parties used money that they got before marriage from an inheritance. So under the family code, we'll have to trace that money back so they can be reimbursed. So those documents are really important to have. Unfortunately, I do have a client that bought a home about 40 years ago. And she told me she used money from an inheritance to put down on a home they bought. But she cannot find the documents and we are unable to trace it. So that's going to make the case more difficult, and she may not be able to get that reimbursement she was hoping for.
Got it. So you have to have the documentation in order for the proof to prove.
Yes, to be able to trace the funds from a separate property source to the buying of the home.
Okay. All right. What is another thing? That's very valuable to have those documents and to be saving them and putting them in those safe places. What would be another item that you would think a couple would need to do?
Sure, when they are thinking about divorce, if they're still on friendly terms, I would suggest they possibly meet with somebody that could give them a property valuation or an appraisal to see how much their home is worth. So they know before they start the divorce process how much equity they may have in the home. And that might help them make decisions about how they will divide their assets.
I see. So either, I guess that would be whatever the agreement would be between them, whether they were okay with the property valuation or hiring an appraiser to do so for them.
Yes, if they agree, and they could ask for referrals from you or from me or from a friend. If one person just wants to get on their own, that would be fine too. But I did have a couple where husband got an appraisal done, and then a few months later, wife got her own to see if they were close, if they matched, and they were pretty close. I think it helped her feel that that the amount was right that husband was giving her. So it just might be that comfort. Oh, I'm going to get my own too, just to verify.
Just to verify. Got it. Okay. Good. Well, let's talk about, we're in a perfect world right here if the couples are on talking terms right here and they're in agreement to sell the property. Let's say we're not. Let's say one wants to, the other one does not. They have other ideas. How and what do you do at that point?
Sure. Well, I also do mediations where I meet with both the husband and wife, the couple, and we figure out what the issues are. So if I'm hearing that one of them wants to stay in the house and the other one wants to sell, I try to work with them to try to figure out why one wants to sell and one wants to stay in the home, try to get down to the deep feelings. And if one person really wants to stay in the home, I suggest they go to a financial planner to see if that person can afford to live in the home, to take over the payments, to keep the upkeep, and to see if they can buy out the other spouse's interest in the property.
Got it.
So even though one person might think in their head, I really want to stay at that home, it might not be practical.
Mhm.
So I want them to go out to another professional to see
Mhm.
if it is practical for them to stay in there. And then we can start talking more about that. If one party is insisting about selling the home, they have to agree on it. If not, that party may go to court and try to get the judge to order to sell the home.
Got it. So-
But in mediation, I'm always trying to work on them together to see if we can reach an agreement that they're both happy with.
Mhm. Okay. That sounds really interesting to me. You say that you do mediation. So when I hear mediation and I hear court, when I hear that word, I feel like a lot of money. And when I hear mediation, I feel like maybe there's hope to not spend so much money, because if we're on talking terms and could have a third party listen to us and kind of get things straightened out, then maybe we can save ourselves some money. Is
Definitely.
that okay?
Yes, in mediation, the parties hire a third party, a lawyer,
Mhm.
and it's one fee,
Mm.
and they use that to try to settle the case. If you're going to court, many people each get their own lawyer, so the costs increase, and with litigation and the wait times at court, you're just looking at extreme amount of money, where you could always try mediation first to see if that works,
Mhm.
and if that doesn't, then you can go down the litigation route.
Okay, so in that situation, you as a mediator would be the one hearing the party's situation, and they would be represented by counsel, each one of them?
So
Or,
at a mediation, either they can come alone or come with lawyers.
okay.
But at the end, if we're able to reach an agreement at mediation,
Mhm.
I strongly should suggest and advise them to hire their own lawyer to review the settlement agreement,
Got it.
because I
Okay.
cannot give advice to either person.
Okay,
But the lawyer they hire can make sure their rights are being taken care of.
okay. Wow, that's very valuable information, Katie, and so glad to know that that's something that would benefit the couple.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for the information you provided. I hope that we were able to bring value to you today. As I mentioned before, it's inevitable that sometimes we have this situation, but it's nice to know that we have professionals like Katie who can assist you. So make sure you click on our link if you want our information. We'll have it posted up for you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Theresa.
Uh-huh.